It's marble. It's Italian marble, not
Yeah, I think we need to be careful. I think we need to be honest to the citizens about this not being granted.
Especially 4 inches thick.
We're
We ready? Okay. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Today is June 12, 2024, Town of Southington Board of Finance meeting. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lebenik,
Here.
Mr. Pocock. Here. Mr. Beaudoin.
Here.
Ms. Mazzarella. Here. Mr. Stanford. Here. Chair Larry.
Here.
6-0, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we go, I don't know if it made I was joking about the new countertops, so I do just want to take a minute to say they are Formica countertops. We did some remodeling on an austere budget, and the old town council chambers in town hall are redone, and they look nice at a modest cost. So I didn't mean to say granite, I was joking. They're Formica, but they look very, very nice.
Imported.
And we thank everybody involved in it. Now we have a multi-purpose room for the whole town to use. Our first item here is an executive session. Do you normally need an executive session just to discuss?
The statute is one of the ones that requires it. Because the BOE is going to discuss with you their strategy in the union negotiations. So in the executive session would, of course, be the chair, the superintendent, the incoming town manager, and the director of revenue.
Okay, so now on our agenda, we will enter executive session. We'll take notes as to who's going in, the 6 members of the board, town manager, new town manager, superintendent of schools, chair of the Board of Education, and the finance director for the town. And
just need a motion.
We need a motion to go into executive session. Motion and a second, 7:02, moving to executive session.
Ladies, if you could just excuse us, it won't be that long. Yep. But once you're ready.
Okay, it is 7:29, looking for a motion to come out of executive session. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We resume our meeting at 7:29, and we resume it with, we'll try and move along. Old business, the approval of the minutes of our May 16th meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion or amendments to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one, financial assessment of the town.
It's coming from somewhere else.
Sure it's not the battery pack that we,
No, that's separate.
All right.
we'll figure it out.
Let's try and play through it.
All right, let's just do a quick assessment of the town. Jim?
Jim, revenues?
Yes, revenues, I got that. We finished. We have been tracking for years now for this board. Has been updated. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Angela, I'm sorry about that. Has been updated and is in front of you, and the only thing I will note on that is there's a little asterisk on there that shows that this board has, and the council have authorized $1.3 million in additional interest income. 1.3 will include any action you take.
No.
This doesn't sound like it's really working.
That help.
The 1.3 includes.
Yours isn't really
Is
working.
your microphone working?
I'm good, yeah.
Oh, you got to get
Oh,
close.
just-
Hold it in closer.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing it.
How about now?
Can you hear me, Kathy?
I think you hear
We'll
real
take
close.
that one.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there you go.
No, you can't.
I mean,
You got to just
troublemaker.
get up close.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure you're not
Okay,
just
sorry about
at
that.
home.
Yep,
Jim, so-
okay, you got it.
Bit.
Just we were saying, the 1.3 includes the 1 million that we use for budget reallocation, and assuming you approve the BOE capital request tonight, that's where the 1.3 comes from.
Because we're going to be allocated that way. Correct. Any questions on that, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
okay.
The expenditure line item, the major variances with regards to expenditures, which is item 2 under that number, have all been addressed by this board in past meetings. The biggest one you have, obviously, is the ambulance appeal case by AMR. The contingency line item, budget line item, you have that in your packet. You will see that the town manager's contingency at the end of this meeting, if everything's approved, will be down to about $119,000. Again, most of that being eaten up by the AMR case as well. That was in your packet that I sent over the weekend. Any questions on that?
Nope. Any questions, anybody?
No.
Okay,
And that's all I have right now. The capital projects will be reviewed and hopefully to you by your July meeting for the quarter ended June 30. And any other funds that you folks want somehow presented, just let me know and we will include that at the July meeting.
okay, let's go into the subcommittee report, sewer committee.
Yes, the next meeting is tomorrow, actually, but
Okay, public works.
There's a special meeting next week.
Okay, so no new news.
Nope.
Open space, Mr. Pocock?
There's a lot going on. We got a lot of it's executive session going through.
Okay.
has a budget, correct?
Maintenance, at least.
Open Space has an item in the Capital Projects Fund 400 budget that we reviewed. We review it quarterly, and there's, I believe, about $500,000 left in that authorization to spend.
Purchases, but I meant
Yeah, there's the town clerk's office, every time somebody records something, a small fund which we use for maintenance of open space.
Yes, yes.
It definitely needs.
Okay, self-insurance, we have a report in the packet.
Yes, there was a report in the packet, and also in front of you tonight, we received the monthly report for May on Monday from Anthem, and our treasurer was able to analyze it for me, and I break it down a little bit and try to simplify that. So that's in front of you. That was done maybe just later this afternoon, so that's why I didn't get it to you.
Do we have that now? I'm sorry.
I left it on the table for each of you.
This is the summary.
Oh, yeah,
You wanna
here it
see
is.
Yep.
Yeah, now we're at.
You should all have it in your packet.
Yeah, so for
Well, no, the April was in the packet, the May I left on the counter.
John, for self-insurance,
But in a nutshell,
last-
I'm sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
I was going to say, the last handful, the last 1, 2, 3, the last 5 months have been very favorable, meaning the actual claims are below budget. And as of May, meaning we have 1 month left, we're 1.9 million. Good,
When it comes to claims.
right? So we're in very good shape.
Joe, if you need an extra copy of that, I've got a couple more in my office. I'll be glad to get you one. I'm pretty sure I left one to everybody.
I'm sure it's in here.
I know I did have 6, please. You're a member of the committee, that's why I want to make sure you get it.
Yeah.
But the Self-Insurance Committee is not meeting again until June 26th, I believe. So this will go out, so you'll get it again, both of you, as members of that committee.
Okay, any questions? Economic strike? Anything? Okay. Any of our subcommittee reports, investment committee, fire liaison, anything on our end?
Just as long as, if you want to stop by and see the new ladder truck, she's a beauty. Seriously, she's a beauty. Okay, stop by and see it. They'll be happy to give you a tour of it.
So mad at me.
We could just say that we're working on it, right? We want to, yeah. Yeah, let's do that, yeah.
Yeah, we had our initial meeting.
Looking at programs, looking
Yeah,
at options.
Could you make sure you coordinate, who's coordinating those meetings? Yeah. Alex's office for your next meeting. Subcommittee, yeah.
Okay.
Touch base with Alex on that. Your next meeting will be, he'll be manager by then, so let him and Kim. Yeah, yeah, so we always err on the side of caution. A subcommittee itself of an elected board, FOI looks at those. You'll tell Alex exactly what you're doing, and then he and the new corporate.
Okay. Any board communications additional? Public communications? All right, hearing none, we'll just move right into our business. We have, on the consent agenda, there are 3 items. We'll take all 3 together. Number 1 is an appropriation, $250 for the police department K-9 program supplies. The second one is an appropriation for $1,000 for a vehicle loss damaged vehicle. And the third one is a department transfer of $9,886 for the Barnes Museum property damage.
Mr. Chair, if it's okay, I also left in front of all of your places tonight something that just happened this afternoon that I've asked. Mark has signed off on it. I asked, respectfully request that you guys.
The K-9? The
Yeah,
dog?
the K-9. They're donations that have been received, and we want to get them in the bank,
Okay, we'll add it on.
So to speak.
We'll add it on as we.
And they're both to the K-9 fund, special, like you just read, item 1.
Okay.
If you wish, you can add them on as 4 and 5 right now.
Yeah, let's take 1, 2, and 3. Ask for a motion to approve 1, 2, and 3.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Yes, sir.
Motion that we add is 4 and 5.
We have a motion. Do we have a second to add to the agenda? Mr. Pocock did a second?
Yes.
All right, it's added to the, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 4 and 5 are added to the agenda. Now we need a motion to act on them. Okay, items 4 and 5, $450 and $100 to the police K-9 program supplies from donations received. Do we have a second?
Where's the 450? Where am I not seeing that?
450 and 100.
Oh, I'm looking at 4.
No, it's a thing we added.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
There should be a separate memo in front of
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Gotcha.
I know there was a lot we left in front of you tonight, unusually, but I'm sorry about that, but it's happening hot and heavy towards the end of the fiscal year, so.
Anything else we need to add to the agenda?
I'm sorry?
Anything else
No,
to add to the agenda?
No,
the dogs were the only
the
ones.
dogs were the dog donations. We're going to the dogs.
Okay, did we have a second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, those at 4 and 5 are approved. Okay, we have in our file the tax suspense list. We know that we're putting these items. It's a boatload of small items that add up to $235,139.74, and we know that adding them doesn't mean we stop collecting them. We just move them to suspense.
Correct.
So we need a motion to approve the tax suspense list.
I'll make a motion to approve the tax suspense list.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Well, I just, why would we that for system?
Properties that we wish to lien, but there shouldn't be too many real estate. It was a small number, yeah. There might be environmental issues involved and things like that we
There's
might.
reasons why.
There's reasons why that, no, we don't want to.
Sometimes it's a piece that's not even worth.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Despite, yeah, and just by state statute as well. It's in other words, it's so that the items aren't really on the books that really are going to be tougher to collect. But still, like Mark said, we get about $40,000 to $50,000 a year in revenue on suspense collections. There's a revenue line item in the revenue budget every year, so we do get some of it back.
So you do try to get some.
Right. Personal property, as you know, is very difficult. because it disappears from the jurisdiction. But as you mentioned, real estate and motor vehicles a little bit easier because sometimes if they, at least if they stay in Connecticut and they try and register a motor vehicle.
No, these are in 20 years.
It could be. I'm sure that the tax office, and Teresa's a seasoned veteran, so I'm sure if it's on there, it's because they can't find them.
I'm sure there is.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? All right, suspense list carries 6-0. Next one, department transfer, 51,500, general fund, central dispatch overtime.
Motion to approve that transfer?
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
This is coming from lab.
Yeah, this is a typical June one, is that we require, before they hit contingency, we're required to have them redo their budgets to make sure that if they're looking for money for a certain line item, it comes out of theirs. So you may see a lot of different line items to equal that number. So
Taking a little bit of shortage in a lot of.
exactly, that's how you make it, because we require all our department heads, as you know darn well, that we require them to look at their own budget first before they hit contingency, especially a year like now where our contingency is where it is. So you'll see this in June, and you'll even see it in July. You'll see a lot of items from different areas to make the shortfall, which in most cases, in this, for police and fire, of course, is overtime.
And I always call it geography. It's all the same budget. We're just moving stuff from line to line.
But again, I just want to watch.
Well, usually the overtime need is because the regular wage line item hasn't been utilized because they've lost an employee who usually maybe moved on, retired, et cetera, especially in central dispatch where we don't have oodles and oodles of people just waiting to take over. So there is a relationship between the two.
Exactly right.
Okay, number 2, do we have a motion?
You had a motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 3, department transfer 1,500. The general fund for the IT department, a lease printer copier. And then a second piece, 2,500, general fund IT department lease printer copier.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Number 3 carries 6-0. Number 4, department transfer $900, general fund HR medical services.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Motion carries 6-0. Number 5, department transfer $1,200, Fund 201, the Animal Control Fund for utilities.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve in a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, none. Number 5 carries 6-0. Number 6, department transfer 40,000 even. General fund fire overtime.
Make a motion to approve the fire overtime?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Motion carries 6-0. Number 7, for a contingency transfer 35,000 from to fire department legal fees.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
So I just want to maybe point out that it's coming from,
Yes.
that it's not a
Tom,
transfer within this department.
Obviously,
Exactly.
tried his done.
I think this year maybe we refer fire negotiations.
I think
I know they did some
Most of them were
transferring
internally.
a couple months ago.
Yeah, this is the first one for contingency.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It was a very,
For that amount.
right, it was, as you know, arbitration is very expensive. so.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Number 7 carries 6-0. Number 8, department transfer $90,000. General fund self-insurance transfer.
Motion
Motion to approve, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. I tried just to maybe give a brief summary in the explanation that I sent along with the packet. Two reasons why we're running just a little bit short on the general government side of the contributions into the self-insurance fund, if you will. The first is being that the water department left the town's pool as of January 1, 2024. Obviously, they were contributing revenues every month, and of course, we are paying their claims every month. So this $84,000 is what I compute to be the end of the year, is basically the loss that we're going to need because of the departure of the water department from the plan, if you will. Even though it's halfway through the plan, they would have contributed another $300,000, but they also would have spent another couple $100,000 in claims and fees. So I computed it to be about $84,832, a little bit specific. And the second reason, we had a slew of employees over the last year or so who have left. We had a lot of open positions. We have employees who are not contributing the employees' share into the fund every payroll that we're not at full payroll, if you will. The second reason is that we had folks who had retired, who are usually contributing, or left, who are contributing based upon a two-person plan and being replaced with a younger employee who is either on the one-person plan, therefore generating less revenue co-payment by the employee. Or in addition, sometimes some of these folks were very young and are still, believe it or not, on their parents' health insurance plan and are coming off a little at a time.
So it's a revenue side issue.
Correct.
So have you read? Way over more revenues.
Well, there's obviously two sides of it. What Kevin, I think, and Joe will also be getting to me when I get the packet out to the Self-Insurance Committee is that we've had some very good months. The last two especially, the ones that are before you, April and May.
That's usage.
Usage, that's claims.
There's
and fees.
different, the revenues come in, and if you have less usage,
Yeah.
your expenses are not as much as you think they are.
Correct.
Therefore, that's why we're doing better. And he's talking about the revenue side, what the town contributes. We have to contribute, just like the Board of Ed, we have to contribute our share. Our share was, what we budgeted was not enough because of what he just talked about, which is the employee. You're seeing, the big numbers you're seeing are based on lack of usage, not necessarily on the other.
Correct.
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 And we have to make up for what the board.
Correct. In other words, I don't want there to be a revenue hole on the general government side above and beyond what would have been there due to just the budget process last year for 23-24.
We like to call it an intelligently estimated number.
Well, the estimate comes from a fellow who, I mean, he's been doing this for a long time.
Spurgeon is,
So,
some of
yeah.
you met already.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does.
he does this for a
But there's
long
no way he could anticipate $85,000 not being part of the revenue because the word.
In all honesty, I don't, in a plan that's approaching, what, $30 million, Joe? Is $174,000 going to make or break the plan? No, it's not. But frankly, if there's revenue in there that we owe, that allows that fund, the health of that fund, to be maintained and hopefully continue on into the future.
Partner in the fund,
Yeah.
the Board of Education.
Yeah.
So you have to be-
Well, thank you for the explanation. I just want to make note that it's 90,000 even and 84,832 are the two pieces of it, and we'll seek a motion to approve.
I think the motion was made in the second.
Motion and a second. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Motion carries 6-0. Number 9, department transfer, $1,000, Barnes Museum Utilities. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second by Mr. Pocock. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Number 9 carries 6-0. Number 10, Department Transfer $1,000, General Fund Library, temporary seasonal wages.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second by Mr. Pocock. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries 6-0. Number 11 comes in multiple parts. Department transfer 15,000, general fund, highway parks ground maintenance. Department transfer 5,000, general fund, highway parks equipment maintenance. Transfer 4,000, general fund, highway parks vehicle maintenance. Departmental transfer 4,000, general fund, highway parks tools and equipment. And interdepartmental transfer 17,000, general fund, street lighting equipment maintenance. Do we have a motion to take all those, number 11, as written?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
Just one question. I'm just curious why it says we weren't able to hire all the temporary leaf workers. I'm just curious why was that?
For the leaf,
Yeah, I'm just curious. Why it was just difficult finding people?
probably. But
Okay.
we bumped it up to $20 an hour too, so I may do that next fall.
Well,
That went by a lot.
if for no other reason than getting that answer, my question was worth it. All right.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, abstain. Number 12, Department Transfer 1,500, General Fund, Calendar House Utilities. Motion to approve with a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, so it's
One abstention.
501, one abstention, 5 in favorable. Motion passes for the utilities. Appropriation to 2024-25 appropriation, $425,594 to capital projects funds for LoSiP grants and outlay.
Brief explanation of this. This is the money we received from the state of Connecticut, and we're asking you to appropriate it to the capital items which are going to be assigned to it.
Motion approve the,
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the
that's-
appropriation 2024-25 for $425,594. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 6-0. Number 14, appropriation $23,916 from ARPA contracted services for drainage. Do we have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Roll
We'll
call.
move to a roll call vote.
Mr. Lebenik,
Yes.
Mr. Pocock,
Yes.
Mr. Bowdoin,
yes.
Ms. Mazzarella,
Yes.
Mr. Stanforth, Chair Larry.
Yes. Okay, motion
passes
carries 6-0 in a roll call vote. Next one is an appropriation, $296,867 from the American Rescue Plan, the ARPA funds, for a dump truck for the Highway Parks Department.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
When you say this is an appropriation, it's really a transfer.
Well, it's an appropriation because the money comes in from the federal government to ARPA. We're appropriating it to the, no, we have
Oh,
it.
it's in.
We have it. But we're appropriating it from where it is right now, which we have in our emergency management line. That's where we keep it. And we're appropriating into the public works. But we're moving it, we're not moving from.
One
from our
fund to
operational
another,
budget.
right?
It was from the operational budget, that was one thing, but this is more of an appropriation because it's not in the operation.
Because it's not
It's grant,
appropriated
right?
Yep.
as both revenues and expenses yet. That's what you folks are doing tonight.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Private accounting.
Mr. Pocock. Mr.
Yes.
Threw me for a little knuckleball there.
I was trying to figure out the discussion here, that's all.
Mr. Bowdoin,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzarella.
Yes.
Mr. Stanforth. Mr. Lebenik.
Yes.
Chair Larry.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, number 16, appropriation 100,000 even, Fund 210, ARPA for recreation park improvements.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second by Mr. Stanforth. Any discussion? All those, let's go to roll call vote.
Mr. Bowdoin,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzarella,
Yes.
Mr. Stanforth, Mr. Lebenik,
Yes.
Mr. Pocock,
Yes.
Mr. Leary, Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, number 17, appropriation $241,334, Fund 100 capital budget, Board of Education for various items, and the appropriation offset by $241,334 to interest income.
If I could explain, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
This is the one in the Board of Education budget that the Board of Education chose to put off and discuss with the town. That was done. We had further discussions with a couple of items at the high school, specifically the flooring and the hoops, which were added, and also because of the state statute, which allowed them to take the HEVAC inspection costs over a 5-year period. We're funding only year 1, and years 2 through 5 will be in their budget. So it totals, as you mentioned, $241,334, which is coming out of our excess interest income line item.
Okay, that's the strategy. Can I just ask, did we address the drainage problem that's causing the damage to the floor? Is that part of it?
Yes.
Like whatever's outside, the gutters, the grading?
The
gym
cause is
flooring.
already, yes, that's all part of it, because we
Okay.
don't want to spend this without happening. So thank you to, well, obviously, thank you to you guys, but thank you also to Pete and his group who did the hard work.
And we always are mindful of Mr. Queen, who passed away just after approaching us, approaching me, and asking if I would just come and look at it and do him the courtesy of just having a look. And that week we were to meet him. He contacted me on a weekend. We were supposed to meet with him Friday, Mr. Pocock and I, and he died on the Tuesday after sending me a note Monday saying, look forward to meeting you. Are we still on for Friday? I said, yes, we are. And I was informed, I believe it was a Tuesday, that he had passed away. So we, not only did we look at it, we, took it up. And so I thank everybody on this board, and on behalf of the Queen family and, his time coaching the girls basketball team, this is the thing we can do here to honor him, and something that was on his mind the day before he passed away, unexpectedly. So let's do a roll call vote on this one. Well, we don't have a motion? Oh,
You have the mo-
we don't have a motion. We
Jim-
need a
Jim-
motion.
Jim was sleeping.
Make a motion
No,
to
no,
approve.
we had a motion yet.
No, you did. You have a motion.
Do we have a
second.
motion? I'm sorry, yep. Yeah, you're right, I was sleeping.
Okay, we don't have a motion.
Oh, you don't have a motion.
I
Okay.
just made it. A motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
All right, roll call. Ms. Mazzarella,
Yes.
Mr. Stanforth, Mr. Lebenik,
Yes.
Mr. Pocock,
Yes.
Mr. Bowdoin,
Yes.
Chair Larry,
Yes.
6-0.
Keeps changing it.
Yes. We're tracking it.
Yeah. You counting how many different ways he's saying it?
We are locked into the meeting. We're not doing any of that.
Okay. It's a good change.
Number 18, appropriation $325,941, Board of Education operations.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Number 18 carries 6-0. And number 19 establishes the non-lapsing account.
Mr. Chair, if I may, due to a change in the state statute, no action is necessary for this board. The non-lapsing account will now be established between the Board of Education and the Director of Finance. The town is no longer part of that. The Board of Education works directly with the Director of Finance in his office to do whatever allocations they wish. For the current amounts, we're keeping the system until further notice, where the money that's remaining from the previous years will still go through the town manager's office for sign-off.
I left a memo from, an email, actually, a copy from Steve Medancy, Superintendent Steve, to Mark, which sort of summarizes the change in the state statute.
If you could just keep us informed as to what goes in for what year and what comes out and when it comes out. I think
Certainly
it's
will.
important to this board to know, like we do with the contingency.
The reason why the item even is on your agenda as it was is because Jennifer Mellon, you folks know Jennifer, the business manager for the school system, sent me that email with that initial language saying, hey, just have the board put this on the agenda, please, so that they at least establish the line item, the account. Then Monday, I guess, when some of the dust is still settling after the state passes its budget, obviously. So this is the part of the state's legislative session, which was a short session. Everything's done kind of at midnight, 1 in the morning, and by the time this is the dust settling and everybody finding out what really happened. So, not to cut anybody out, but that item would have been worded differently on your agenda, but we just literally I just found that out from Mark.
Okay, thank you. So we don't have to take action there. And then the informational purposes only, the town manager's movements of $144, $168, and $150, $1,000, $300, and $1,000. So little small manager movements noted here. And any other business to come before the board?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yeah.
This is my last meeting
Yep.
with you after who knows how many years. Obviously, I've worked with all of you, some of you only for a short period of time, but I've enjoyed myself, and I think that we've had a very good working relationship. If I don't see you in July, please stop by and see me before I leave here on the 28th so we can say goodbye personally. But thank you for everything you've done for me, and thank him later on. But obviously, the person to my left is my right arm when it comes to finances, so I couldn't have done it without him. And I'm going to mention Amelia, who also was my right arm when she was here. So thank you all very much.
And
It's been a pleasure.
And we want to say thank you, too, as this last item.
Did a good job.
I hope you think this is the best board.
You know what? I've had the least amount of headaches here.
It's the best one for today. Yeah.
And just as a heads up, Mr. Chairman and members, your next meeting's not till July 31. That's to allow departments to get bills in, pay them on the old year, buy us some time, so that we always set that meeting back late. And also get our carry forward list straightened
It's
out.
always the last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And as we're elected officials here, on behalf of the people, we wish you the best.
Thanks.
And we thank you for all of your time safeguarding, the integrity of our town, the ethics, the values, and of course, the finances. And we'll forgive you for hiring Jim, because he's heckling you while your back is turned.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
we're keeping an eye on
I
him.
hired Amelia, too, so I got a plus and a minus. What do
There you go. Balance it out. But thank you very much.
Nobody
and
wants these jobs anymore, believe it or not.
Thank you.
I don't think there's a time we didn't get an informed answer from you on our questions, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. You've
Thank
been a
you very
great
much.
town manager for these years that I've been on the Board of Finance. And Alex will be a good one. I know.
Thank you all very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion.
Yes, we need our favorite motion at 8:05.
I got a second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned at 8:05. Thank you very much. Alex, thank